Hello, my dear human family, and welcome to another video update here on my channel. And this video is in response to a comment from yesterday that I read. Thank you for that. And I thought I'd give a little bit of an update on what's happening, what I'm all about, what's going on. It's sort of like a little bit dusty on my YouTube channel right now. And I don't know, I feel very, very bad about YouTube itself, to be totally honest. And I have to say that right now I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed because it's a big project that's coming together right now, and you'll definitely hear an update from me at the end of this month. So, and there's a lot of things that I'm being challenged with right now. My natural talent lies in teaching and in expressing ideas, synthesizing information, and make it understandable for the layperson just what we're facing here right now in these times and what the proper solution is after more than 10 years of research with the question of how do I get out of this control system and how can I rise above the so-called elite. I call them a kakistocracy, and they need to be gotten rid of because we are the indigenous people of this planet and we need to establish that sovereignty. So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I'm good at, and I have my weaknesses too. And there's weaknesses like responding to emails. Like, I get overwhelmed with writing emails all the time. Like, I want to be effective as possible in my work, and so often it happens to me that I don't write back to emails. Then also sort of organizational skills. My whole foundation of my work is not even set up. My website is dusty. The last blog that I did was in the middle of March, right at the beginning of this whole crisis. And yeah, I don't have a foundation, so that's why I also have to live from very, very little money because it's just not promoted the right way. And this is a splinter in my mind every single day because I'm really fed up with myself for not being able to put these things straight, because I'm always on the get-go to what I'm going to be talking about now. So, what's happening in my world? Well, nothing has changed, okay? This is what I'm always putting my focus on. As soon as I wake up in the morning, I open my eyes, and it's another solving the 5G AI technocracy, transhumanism, cyborgization, smart cities, Agenda 2030, onslaught, AI, mainframe matrix conundrum. Solving it. And I always forget about creating a foundation for myself, which is the reason why I always have at the back of my mind the trouble of being able to afford my next rent. And the only thing that I'm focusing on, really, and where I lose myself, is to prevent the takeover of our planet by interdimensional and extraterrestrial races with nefarious agendas for this planet, which is the complete destruction of the planet, because in their screwed up psychopathic mindset, they think that because we as humanity have a unique gift of imagination and creativity and an innate connection with the mother planet, Gaia, our mother earth. And so they think because we have that and they don't, we also should not have that connection to the mother planet, and they'd rather destroy and let us not have a part and being in paradise, and therefore just destroy it. This is what is happening in my eyes. Because look at it, look at the politicians. I mean, they're just puppets for a force in the background. And this force is completely psychopathic. So therefore, you have to take a grand stand with that and understand that we are the native species of this planet. And we need to establish that. That's why my course of action that I'm taking at the end of August is about sovereignty, which you can assert in every single moment. And then you just have to face, after making that assertion and intention, I am a sovereign being and no authority outside of me exists, and no party outside of me can tell me what to do. That is what it means to be sovereign. And to live in a sovereign way is to be aligned with natural law principles, which is a big topic which I want to get more into on this channel if I ever were to get my main focus and my real job done, which is to stop the AI machine taking over. And that's what we need to live by. And natural law, explained simply, is to align your behavior with morality, which is objective. Live in right livelihood. Don't cause harm, or cause as less harm as possible to other sentient beings. And this is a journey. And then you live sovereign, because the concept of authority is a claim that has to be substantiated. And what is the measure for authority? What makes someone an authority on a particular subject? Knowledge and truth. Truth-based knowledge is where the concept of authority orients itself. And these mind parasites have instilled the belief in us that we just accept authority because they're called government, without them having to prove anything, you see. So that's the mindset we need to get out of. What we're really facing is this monster, okay? And I'm doing my bit exposing it. And I'm doing my best, and I admit that sometimes I'm overwhelmed, because I have my weaknesses too, and they eat me up inside often, which is my challenge to get into a balance. I need to own those circumstances, but it doesn't mean that I can't express that, because through expressing it to you, I'm being honest with you and being honest with myself, and it filters through from the unconscious mind into the conscious mind, and then I can tackle it. So I also thought this is a very good reason to do a video and also share that with you. Maybe you feel inspired after that. Maybe you also realize a weakness that you have that you can improve on, or put more, this should be the basis, put more emphasis, more effort into that which you are good at. But due to the reason that what I'm organizing needs our organizational skills to be up to date, therefore I have to really get involved in this. Alright, just to keep this short, that's what we're facing: a satanic death cult. There's the ones exposing it, and we need to become part of the ones exposing it. It's not only about the experts to come forward and then we heal. No. we have to face this situation ourselves. All of us individuals, we have to face it individually. You there, you have to face the motherfucker. Okay? No one can do this for you. I do my part, which I'm very happy to do. But as Socrates said, education is the kindling of a flame. And you need to face that motherfucker with proper weapons. And that is the weapon of truth. Because they are dark, occult priest class, okay? They have a secret that they need to protect. They have to work in secrecy and especially keep your conscious awareness away from how they work your psyche. Another expression for Satanist is a mind controller. Okay? These are ancient master psychologists, and they know how to exploit human weaknesses. And the more we are aware of our own weaknesses, and we work on them, which is all about shadow integration work, and that means to realize the not so strong points that we have, the weaknesses that we have in our psyche or in our handling of situations or whatever, realize them and work on them and not fall into a trap of victimhood. Okay? Although I have a constant financial difficulties, that is my problem, and I have to own it. No one else has to own this for me. And there is probably a reason why this is as it is. And I can't get to the bottom of it, it looks like. But there you go. The importance is not to fall into a victim trap, because then you are tied into a victim, perpetrator, savior complex, and through being or staying in a state of victimhood, you are creating another perpetrator to slip into this energetic connection and prove to your consciousness that you are a victim, which you're not. The key is to be above our circumstances. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are, we, as an expression of infinite awareness, of spirit that there is no boundary for, it is only impossible until it's done. A state of victimhood is not necessary. It is a choice. But let me tell you, these ancient master psychologists don't want you to know this because they want you to keep you in a state of victimhood. And they also want to keep you from taking action and facing this beast. Another way of this mind control is for you to sit in the back, just observe what's going on and consuming information only, and waiting for the experts to come forward for you. The doctors, the lawyers, or people in the media, or politicians, or whoever. They then come forward and do the bidding for you, when I'm here to tell you the sad fact that you have to face that beast within you. And that is the only thing that will ever, ever, ever change anything. We have to face the satanic mindset in our own being. That motherfucker only has a connection point to our being. Okay, we can observe it in the outside, this satanic agenda, being implemented through institutions like the World Economic Forum and the United Nations and the secret society networks in the background, which then tie into Satanism. We can observe that in the outside, with the puppet politicians implementing those and not giving a freaking damn about the people, because they themselves are either idiots or as much psychopathic as the people in the background that are giving their orders to them. Okay, this is all in the outside. But in the Hermetic tradition, and in an hermetically sealed understanding, what does it mean to be hermetically sealed? What is a circle? It's complete, okay? So that means not only is the outside a little bit connected with the inside, but these are intrinsically linked. So what's your access point? Inside of yourself to the mirror screen reality that you experience outside of yourself. Are you separate from the reality that you experience? That, ladies and gentlemen, is a satanic ideology of materialism. That you live in a dead, materialistic universe and your life has no purpose and everything's dead around you and you're just here to hang out and obey authority. That's the worldview they put on ours. But it is hermetically sealed, and the outside only will ever change through the inside. Through the application of the Trinity. Thoughts, that's where everything starts. That is the natural law principle of mentalism. Everything at its causal level has a mental origin. Therefore, when I can observe in the outside a so-called virus that's happening, it has a mental origin. Therefore, the problem we are actually facing is a mind virus. And the mind virus is that you believe in authority and you are part of the biggest religion on this planet, which is government. Slavery. Government etymologically comes from the word gubernare, meaning to control, and ment or mentis, which means mind. You have to step out of that religion. That's what you have to do. And hold these people accountable for their criminal actions. And another expression of that is that you start to believe in yourself. Get inspiration from the people like me. That's what all of this here is there for. Get the inspiration. And then ignite the fire within your being and live by it. Wherever you go, you don't wear a mask. That's a start. That will build up your self-esteem and your confidence. And don't be afraid of the people that talk to you, because If you're not in the right state of mind to be talking with people, then you don't even talk to them. They have never ever had any reason or any influence on the behavior that you are doing and performing. That is an action for freedom. Never wearing that fucking mask, ever. I get sent fines here for not having a mask in the train, and I just send them back, writing to them what I feel like, and basically telling them you can F off because you don't know what you're doing. Fascist collaborator. That's what we need to be bathing ourselves in. We have been marinating as a species in a complete trauma-based mind control operation where we always put ourselves down. It's so natural to us because we've been so programmed to just take this shit. We shouldn't take it anymore. We should stand up for ourselves. What does it take for you to realize that you are an expression of infinite imagination, infinite creativity, infinite wisdom, and infinite power? Look at what happens in nature. That is inside of you. You can align to that. But instead, people have chosen to subordinate themselves to these Satanists that express themselves through government, these idiot politicians, instead of making another choice. You have that choice. You align with the forces of nature and the forces of the universe. Look out in nature, how everything grows, how this is an organism that's pure intelligence. That's what you align to by aligning with natural law principles. Go watch Mark Passio's seminar and not only listen to it, but ingest it. Drink from the cup of wisdom and drink deeply. Have it anchored in your being that authority doesn't exist outside of you and it's only based on truth-based knowledge. Then you have an authority. Why? Because truth-based knowledge and the application of that knowledge is aligning with natural law and being a vehicle for the forces of the universe to work through you and absolutely defeat those motherfuckers. Defeat those. And if you don't like that language, I don't care. Because it takes something to get through the thick fucking skull. Because we've been so programmed as a species. And we need to get this right. Don't wait for the experts to talk out for you. You talk. You speak your mind. You have a heart. You're an expression of this humanity. These are the fucking pedophiles that are fucking our children. And we need to put an end to it. I'm not always your good boy and smoothly giving you the knowledge to help. No, the ego is too strong. And I know that because I also have an ego, and it doesn't mean to get rid of the ego, it's to have it in check. But sometimes this needs to be said in an angry way, and I'm happy to have Mark Passio as a mentor for me because he gives a real kick up the arse, although he's a little bit mental himself because he loses himself in these angry loops. But I'm thankful for people being angry with me sometimes and giving me a kick up the arse. And not just sit on my couch and wait for the revolution to happen. It will not happen. Just as the revolution won't be televised, the revolution won't be done for you. You need to stand up now. Otherwise, the consequences is worse than anything this picture can tell you. Okay, look at it. Being completely surveilled by this demonic technological intelligence, AI, we won't have it. Defeat those master psychologists. They've locked us in a matrix, which is a mind tricks. Okay, it's playing tricks on our mind. The causality of the problem we're facing, there are so many symptoms and there are so many people that lose themselves on the symptom level of this problem, and they hardly ever look at the causal level of this problem. And the causal level of this problem is that we're locked in the matrix, and the matrix is mind tricks, and the matrix is mind control. If you are not in control of over your own mind, someone else is. And this artificial mindset, this construct that I give the name the matrix, keeps reproducing a reality where some people called government can rule over us by claiming that they have any authority over us when they do not. That's why this is so important. Know thyself. Know thyself. Remember that you are a divine expression. I don't give a damn what you think about yourself, because that's your program in your mind. You are not those thoughts. That's not you. You are beautiful, powerful, and extraordinary. That is the truth. And they never ever want you to find out. What powers the matrix? Where does it get its source of power or energy? Like Morpheus said and showed in the Matrix movie, when he held up a battery and he said, they made human beings into this, which means that we are their source of energy for these matrix rulers who only rule over their own little box, which is pyramidically, hierarchically structured. And we the human beings are its power source. So where does the power lie? That changes the game. Realize that. We are the ones that give everything energy with our attention. Look at the double slit experiment, the basis for quantum physics. We are the ones we've been waiting for, and we change this entire reality, and we've got to do it together. And that's why I don't get to do a video all the time. I'd love to be doing more videos, and actually I enjoy it. But I have to get this right. Project 2020 has to be gotten right, and hopefully maybe I can do more videos. The matrix is mind tricks, and we have to get out of that mindset by knowing ourselves. And that means knowing, not thinking, oh, I think I'm worth something. No, you know you have value just through being here and being a human being endowed with the power of magic just the same as I am. And that is heart-based intelligence. Okay, that's where we connect to our innate source of power. And heart-based intelligence is not always just giving the love and just being in a calm voice and sort of kindling you into this knowledge. Oh, everything's fine. You're okay. Sometimes it needs to be given a little bit of a shout. And that feels good to me because that just is me. I'm not here to be your savior or anyone's savior. I am not ever interested in that fact. I don't want to be saved by anyone because I know we can do it together. We only have to remind ourselves of that fact that we are unique human beings that can change the whole complexity of the game and flip the inversion of the matrix inside out, and then we end up in paradise. So on that note, I want to say thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and become a Patreon supporter if you enjoy the work that I'm doing. I hope to do more videos now, but as I said, I'm organizing an event at the end of August, and if you just think I'm doing a good job in doing that, because this will deal with 5G, with COVID, technocracy, sovereignty, and criminality, liability, all of that. And 10 years of work coming together. It's going to be a milestone for me. If you really think that is a good thing that I'm doing here, well, you can support me. You can go onto my website, make a donation. I'd be very happy. So I have less of a mind job to get through. And if that's not what you do, well, then I know that it's my problem. It's my challenge when that doesn't happen. Not easy, I know, but it's good to express that and not pretend as if you're Mr. Magical, which I'm not. I have my faults too, but I have a lot going for me too, you know? And that's where we put our focus on and try and integrate some of those demons that keep us from being the best version of ourselves. How about that? So in that sense, much love to you, brothers and sisters of humanity. It's time to stand up. We are the power in this game.